lot today in terms of all the drafts that I've seen, so I could definitely see them thinking, okay, the bots value it, we already valued it as well, let's open it as our opener. But Lich and Gyrocopter, Lich is a new hero. I don't think I've seen him in any of the matches yet today, but Gyro has also been a staple, so it's a bit curious to me, but apparently Earthshaker triggers something in OpenAI 5 to want to go for a Lich.
The Necrophos will be taken here nice and early by the humans, the second pick in. As how do we sort of like the response? This hero, as we've seen, it has its changes over the patch. Obviously, in the current meta, it is a hero that's certainly been looked towards. But back 7.16, again, as a bit of a reminder, of course, this game will be played on 7.16. Necrophos still in a decent place. You like the sort of humans favoring the Necrophos early?
He's definitely a little weaker. There's been a couple buffs immediately after this patch. He got some of them in 7.16 exactly, which is this current patch that we're playing on, but not the biggest fan here. I felt like he was maybe one of the weaker ones, and maybe we're kind of seeing a reaction to that, seeing a sniper on the enemy team. So I think what Team Human is going for with the Necro is that they're planning to lane that as one of their solo heroes. So for the purpose of, if you get a last hit, then you get HP and MP regen, which prevents you from having to bring out a Salve or a Clarity Potion. So if you can control the lane by yourself with Necrophos, you can stay there a long time and probably start to dominate your opponent. But if you're against somebody that has a better attack animation than you, which is Sniper, it attacks fast and the projectile time is really high. It means getting lessons in 9s are easier. And also, therefore, Sniper can just sit back and kind of ping away at Necro potentially and last hit better. So I'm not sold on Necro being good, but maybe they'll make it work.
Okay, well, the third pick here, the CM, so the human side, as we're seeing, certainly thinking about that sustainability, thinking about the ability to keep on pushing, and so's OpenAI here as they grab the Death Prophet. So we are seeing what we will expect to be the three cores from OpenAI, the Gyrocopter, the Sniper, and the Death Prophet.
Yeah, and interestingly, they are kind of sticking to that same kind of what we expect out of a pro game. 3 cores, 2 supports. Yeah. We're not seeing many cores, or we're seeing a mix of both things depending on what they need, which is interesting. CM is still in a good place in this patch here. Some of the changes are her GPM perk at 15 isn't as good, but who cares about that, right? Her Nova has a slower cooldown, but CM's going to be able to pump mana to the rest of her team, and they're going to be able to use that extra mana to do more harass and fight more often with their opponents.
Oh, Razor is going to be the picker hero that we don't see a lot. Not really the most popular in terms of current Dota. Even back then, wasn't he? Was actually it was a bit more hot back then, was he? Because he did receive some nerfs, so in a bit of a better place, I imagine, on this patch.
It's more like he got tiny nerf, and then he kind of just got left to the side. Nobody really picks him that much right now. But the way that Razor is really good is that when you're laning against somebody in a 1v1, you can steal their damage with Static Link, and then that gives you a huge last hitting advantage and a possible trade advantage. So kind of interesting that they pick Razor. So it looks like the humans are going to go Earthshaker support, CM support.
Yep.
And they'll finish off with an SF in the mid lane. Luckily, the bots cannot use it, as far as I'm aware. But
there we go. The crowd enjoying the lineup that the humans have presented here to OpenAI, as OpenAI will respond with a 5th pick, Lion. So their 2 supports being the Lion and the Lich.
So if we look at the potential 1v1 or core heroes, though, the Razor and the Shadow Fiend, those are heroes that if they get advantage, they can continue abusing that advantage. And if they're up against a hero like Lion, they have to be a little careful, because if Lion rotates in at the right time, he's got a disable, and he's got a lot of burst damage. So they have to be careful, they have to be aware, and it may lead to ganks being a big thing for OpenAI here.
Well, let's find out. And of course, just as a reminder, because this was the first time we've actually got to see OpenAI actually take the picking phase and do it in response to what was being picked by the humans, obviously prioritizing the heroes that in their mind will give them the best percentage chance of winning this game. And sort of talking from an overall perspective, would you say OpenAI has outdrafted the humans here? You know, have they already managed to start this game off with an advantage?
I would say that their lineup is very good at fighting without items, whereas the Dyer's lineup is a lot more required to have it. Like for the Dyer's, the humans lineup to do damage, they need to be able to cast like Crystal Nova, maybe like a double Shadow Fiend raise. Maybe they have to get somebody low enough that Moon Meander on the Necrophos can even cast his ulti to secure a kill. So it's like they definitely need more items, it feels like. They need to get off the ground a little bit before they can be more effective. Or at the least, what they can do is force their opponents to spread out more. That way they can't just death push with 4 heroes, because it seems like there's always this time where OpenAI 5 will grab 4 heroes and they'll just kind of start death pushing. And in the previous match we saw, there was some lane movement at the start. It was like a tri-lane, maybe a dual lane, then the mid rotates up, and then they're like really pushing. And when they had advantage and they're feeling confident and they started shit-talking in all chat, that was when they were just 4-man pushing. So if the humans can delay that advantage by laning well and getting a lane advantage, maybe it'll actually become a regular game of Dota.
And look at that! The percentage has just gone up in milliseconds, 80, 90, 95.
He changed his mind 3 times in a fraction of a second.
That's
He's like,
a lot of confidence.
That was, wow.
From OpenAI, but here we go. This is going to be fun indeed, Mr. OpenAI Sniper, as we get into this game 1 between Team Human and the OpenAI.
They're following the Midas mode rules, I think. We're smoking. There it is. So moving across the map here, the win chance, it does change a little bit over time. I mean, grabbing a first blood would be a really nice advantage. So maybe if they had paid attention to where they expected their opponents to go, they could use that to try to abuse a free kill.
Sitting at a solid 94% at the moment. Seems to be the number that OpenAI have settled upon. As indeed this smoke movement from the humans looking to be unsuccessful, as OpenAI already positioning themselves aggressively on the top half of the map, their entire team sticking together almost as if they're prepared for this sort of movement.
Well, they'll just go back to regular laning stage, I guess. This looks actually kind of like a pro game, to be honest. Like, one team will move into the enemy jungle, the other team will move in the other jungle, and they'll just split bounty runes down the middle of the map. Merlini's going to have to be a little careful here. He is going to spot the enemy team, seeing all 3 he knows. There's no way that he'll grab that one successfully without a bad trade.
Yeah, so I guess actually that's a good point as well, to point out what who's playing what on the side of Team Humans, because there was some talk about who's going to be playing which role. We've got Merlini on the safe lane. It will be Blitz playing the Shadow Fiend mid. You're going to have Fog walking around the map on the support. Shaker, Cap as well, supporting on CM, and Moon, he'll be down on the bottom playing that third core, the Necrophos.
And the couriers are already moving. Everybody's grabbing them, running them around. Looks like mangoes for people. Still pretty low regen for the humans as well as also the OpenAI, so maybe taking a page out of their books. Oh, was that a double shrapnel?
Oh, stacking shrapnel!
Is this bot TI?
Oh, the OpenAI making a questionable decision there.
Yes, that was not a good move. Let's get in the first last hit. That's huge, because if he gets enough souls here, it means he's going to have a massive last hitting advantage against the sniper. And I honestly was not super impressed with the bot last hitting in the previous match.
Oh, top lane. They do get themselves the kill as they dive in. They're using Sails to ferry. This wouldn't be an OD Pixel observing without missing first blood.
Yeah, that reminded me of a very famous Merlini clip, actually. Dive into the trees, get the triple kill, except that didn't happen. He just died. See if they can get as many last hits as possible. So last hitting, denying, this is what really matters. In the safe lane, actually, it's a Lich, by the way.
Oh,
this is actually a Lich core.
Oh, okay. So we set the pictures. They're changing it up, OpenAI.
And actually, all the heroes on OpenAI are carrying no talismans at the start. The line is, as is the Death Prophet. So very bizarre laning stage to start things off. Fogged is going to begin a pull, though. I don't think we saw a pull in other matches at all.
Yeah, we'll see how the OpenAI deals with that, sort of that change in equilibrium on this top lane.
Which is a really good thing to do. A typical small camp is going to give you about half of a level, and it seems actually they have no idea what's going on right now.
They're panicking.
Fogg's going to get this
Where do
pull.
we go? Where's the creep, Scott?
Yeah,
What are we
this is the most confused I've seen them yet. For
sure.
He didn't do a pull through though. So
I mean, they're not using the all chat now, you know.
They'll wait. They're just biding their time, right? The wave will push because he did a single pull and didn't connect. So in the meantime, Fogged is also going to be setting up a potential gank mid. Level 3 on Shadow Fiend here. He does miss his raise though.
Let's see how well OpenAI 5 on the sniper is able to position himself at the moment, keeping himself close towards the tower.
Top lane, Crystal Maiden is in trouble.
Oh, another dive in, another hex and another kill. Second one there for OpenAI on this top lane. So out for both of the cores. Well, they're sharing the lane.
They're missing 200 health and they're popping the self.
And we are going to see a movement now. OpenAI taking the Death Prophet now down to the bottom lane. So going back to sort of the 2-1-2s, which we more commonly see from the pro lane.
Moon wants to go for this kill. He's got to be careful. He's got the double fairy fire though. This is a common Moon style here. Oh, the salve though.
He turns. Can he get it? No, he can't. OpenAI take the kill on Moon.
He felt confident with the kill, but he wasn't expecting the salve. Mid damage there. So he was the last hit leader in a big way, though.
But look, now the humans know that they're down to a 2-1-2, so they have a bit of an advantage in terms of numbers on this top lane. They're trying to close the gap, but the Fisher, in fact, from Fogged is stopping Capitalist from being able to close the gap. The stun as well from the Lion, making sure the Cap can't close the gap. So nice wraparound there from OpenAI, holding back the disabler that the humans had, making sure that the Jara can keep himself at a safe distance.
Shadow Fiend's pulling ahead in a really big way, though. 14-4, so he's slightly beating out the Sniper, but it's just going to get more and more one-sided as time goes on here. Basically, Sniper has to make sure he just doesn't get double race. That's really where he starts losing his lane. The bot lane, Necro's in trouble.
Oh, he's got the Ghost Shroud, he's got the 1 charges. And getting those salves out as well. Of course, making the best use they can here, the humans, of the fact that they, of course, do also have these 5 invulnerable couriers.
I mean, that must have been a really good trade there for Necro, because he healed back up using Ghost Shroud between Wand and Salve. Maybe that's one thing he's trying to abuse here. We're actually seeing an OpenAI hero go all the way back to base. This is like a first for today, I think, that somebody's actually just gone all the way back, or at least ran all the way back to their courier. So it seems like a decent start.
Absolutely. I mean, in terms of kills, as we can see, they have 3, but the net worth pretty much even at the moment between these two teams.
What about the win probability?
I was going to say, have they sort of lost their confidence? No, it's actually gone up. It's
all
right,
good.
we're struggling a little bit. We're going to win 98% chance. Oh, the BM smoke here from OpenAI.
It does take a tri-lane to beat Moon Meander, apparently. So you always got to get those jabs in. I was wondering if it'd be fun to take the current OpenAI and just get all the players in the world to just scrim against them. Maybe that's one way to make up the time and see if they can learn some behaviors, maybe, that help them win pub games by trash talking. Thought that would be kind of fun. I don't know if they have the resources.
Top lane. I'm going to attempt here onto the gyrocopter cap. He's got the 2 points thing over, but can't quite wait for the cooldown as the salve's already out on OpenAI Gyro. There's 3 heroes on him this time. He complained about it, and he's probably going to be a bit annoyed again as it happens. Immediate smoke up as well after they get the kill, so they can look to reposition. Yeah,
it just moves them across the map a little bit faster. Moon there was waiting to use his Ghost Shroud, but got hexed and didn't get time to pop the Shroud, the Wand, and himself. So he ends up getting picked off there. Yeah, the smoke was also potentially to find a a boundary run fight. And Cap gonna go down here. Ben in trouble too. Man, Gyro by himself is actually taking it to these 2 heroes. Like, they're zoning him, but then he's just kind of coming back and fighting again and getting good trades.
We have it towards the mid. Fog. He's going to walk himself into the Lich. Looks for the Fisher. Does manage to trap him there. Nice trap indeed. He's setting up here for Blitz to come in. The stun will hold back the SF, so the Razors don't come through. There's a bit of time to salve it, but it's not enough. As Fog there, with a fantastic setup there with that Fisher trap. Ooh. The question marks come out, and deservedly so.
So that's one of those things that we haven't really seen the bots do. They haven't abused things like body blocking so much. It's probably very hard for them to learn it, I imagine. But that was effectively, like, Fog basically just inconvenienced that Lich for a good 12 seconds or something like that. That's the abusive level in Fissure. He is going to be sitting behind the Necro, though, hoping for a possible rotation. Gyro shows up in the lane.
The missile onto him. We'll see how hard OpenAI look to go in. The Fisher does slow down the Gyro a bit, but it's not enough. As the damage is done with the Rocket Barrage through the Ghost Shroud. Another kill for this Gyro. As Blitz has picked up an Invis Rune.
Yeah, I don't think we've seen too much rune usage at all from the bot teams just yet. So this is one place. Oh well, they do have a sentry ward.
They do that. Look at this. They see it all. They let him know. They give the right clicks. Blitz knows they've got detection down.
He wanted to go in on that, but with the allies coming from behind, he would have paid for it. He's pretty farmed though. I mean, he's already got an Aquila Treads. This was like the most items we saw out of human players in the previous matches. So.
Already, this game is so exciting to see because the lanes haven't been a disaster for these humans. Yes. It's coming up to 7 minutes in. It's still less than a 1k advantage. So we are going to get the chance to see what OpenAI does when it has to come out of a laning stage that's been a close one.
I mean, that's pretty much what we're seeing. They're doing okay in levels. They're keeping their opponents at least semi-even. Yes, they're getting more kills, but it seems like their last team fight, although Razor on top is in a lot of trouble here.
He's got to be able to keep himself in there behind the trees.
I mean, Sniper is level 7 already, and Razor's walking around level 4. And he's not that useful as a hero. Usually he wants to have a little bit of a level and gold advantage, but he hasn't even been able to get there yet.
Top is missing.
See, the humans now putting a lot of prioritization on this bottom lane. 4 of them down here to look to battle with OpenAI. OpenAI will turn. They'll get the stun with the Lion. Moving in with the Rocket Barrage. Fog gets the Fisher out. He does get healed up. There is a missile inbound. We're going to see the rest of the team continue to try and fight as Fog will survive. Blitz turns for the Razors. Gets the kill. The Assassinate coming through with the blast. The bounces. It's enough. That's going to be the SF gone. Cap to fall as well. Malini has turned up, but it's a little too late. The humans, they've already down 2 heroes here. He's got to retreat. Moon trying to get to the center, but he still has the Reaper Scythe available. Lays it down as Lich will get the kill, but he still ends up falling. As OpenAI will come out on top, but a very, very close team fight there between the 2 sides as everybody sending their lineups straight down towards the bottom lane. Looks like we do have a pause. Hopefully this won't confuse the OpenAI.
Is this one of those real pauses, or is this like trying to get in their heads?
I was going to say, this is a little bit of an unfair advantage. You know, the OpenAI, I don't think they can pause the game, so...
Do they need to? They don't go to the bathroom. They don't have to answer the door. They just play Dota all day. That's the life we all want, right?
Just true. They are living the dream here,
So-
OpenAI. But so far, this first 8 minutes of the game,
Yeah.
impressed by what the humans have been able to do against OpenAI?
Yeah, I think this is just a fundamental show of their laning mechanics being better. They're better at last hitting. They're better at like pushing waves. They're better at being efficient around the map, and that's why the last hit totals are just higher, because their opponents haven't had a moment where they need to group up and just death push the lane. So like Blitz already has pretty good items. He's used his first couple of runes pretty well. I think that's like a huge advantage that they need to keep trying to abuse to try to beat the OpenAI bots. So far, it's going all right. It's just there's still been a lot of lack of deaths, perhaps. And levels-wise, actually, the graph I'm curious about is experience. And that's where things are getting really bad, actually. So the gold, it looks kind of even, but the experience graph has just been creeping more and more towards the OpenAI 5 favor. So that means they have less levels, and when you have less levels, that means less damage from your skills and less ultimates. And it's going to mean that the team fights that do happen later when they start death pushing are going to be so much harder to win. So I mean, they've got some good team fight stuff. Maybe if they get a Shadow Blade on SF, they could get a cool Requiem, perhaps. But with their current sentry usage, it seems like they're kind of on top of that. Like in the safe lane, they had a couple sentries already. They spotted the invis from Shadow Fiend. They have more sentries in position to prevent their opponents from having observer wards that would give them vision of their opponents. So it just seems like they're kind of on top of stuff.
And in terms of as well, obviously, we're talking about what the humans have done and what they could have done better. Looking at what OpenAI has achieved in these first 8 minutes in terms of the lanes, the way that they moved around, would you agree that everything they did makes sense, or could you sort of criticize some of the behavior and say, well, maybe this early 8 minutes could have gone better if a certain one of their heroes did something else?
I mean, most of it is about lane matchups, essentially. In the mid lane, Shadow Fiend did slightly better, moderately better, perhaps. But against Sniper, it's kind of hard to kill him because he's always going to be far away. Without a lane rotation, SF isn't really going to score that kill. And the one time they maybe had an opportunity with Earthshaker, they just didn't have the opportunity. So you're not going to do that great there. I think Razor had a poor lane, is pretty safe to say. And Necro was last hitting well, but he was up against a basic core Lich who was maxing Sacrifice. And it was just constantly pulling experience away from Necrophos. So he couldn't even get ahead, even though he's better at last hitting there. So in that way, it's the OpenAI 5, so far, everything's working, right? The slight gold advantage, big experience advantage, and their confidence hasn't cracked.
It absolutely has, and as we've been saying on the grass, still sitting at the 99%. I think that's going to be the thing. What does it actually take to make OpenAI start to doubt itself? That's sort of another level that we're going to be able to see if we get to that point, if anything does happen that sort of does crack the confidence.
I feel like these guys are going to get mega creep. They're just going to be like, 87%, I'm pretty sure. We can still win this.
But that's something. To see it drop from 99 to 87, that will be impressive if we see Team Human able to sort of push the OpenAI into that sort of direction. But once again, apologies for the pause. We believe we are just sorting out Blitz's computer so we can get back on with the game because, I mean, as you say, OpenAI, they're going to be able to play this smoothly. Well, we want to make sure that Team Human is also being able to play the game as smoothly and fluidly as possible.
Maybe OpenAI was developing. No, probably not. But as long as they're not lagging, they should be able to take it. I mean, Blitz is at 400 gold towards his Shadow Blade right now, so it's going to be a while. But if they can keep getting decent team fight trades where both of them go equal and then turn that into levels, because when you are behind, there's still a lot of comeback mechanics in terms of EXP. It's been mostly reduced for gold in the last couple of patches, but the experience one is still really high. So if they do succeed at getting kills on high-level enemy heroes, if they kill OpenAI 5, they're going to catch up really rapidly, and then that might just negate the confidence in a big way, because then they're going to have equal resources and also approximately equal gold. Because I'm not super confident that something like a Shadow Blade is going to be abusable against the OpenAI 5.
I was going to say, because they seem very good with sentries,
Yeah.
and they do seem to be very much about sort of not playing alone. It seems unlikely that you're going to be able to find a member of OpenAI out on their own. So they're going to have backup, or they're going to have instant TP reactions.
But there are pretty easy ways to check. You can do things like walk under a creep wave of Shadow Blade and right-click an enemy hero and see if the creeps aggro to you. And then you know if there's a sentry there. And if you do that and they don't, maybe he'll get an easy Requiem kill on a big core. That could be huge for changing the tempo of the whole game. And that's what works so well in low-level pubs usually, or even any pub. You get a Shadow Blade and you kill heroes, and it just pushes you in a big advantage. So if they can get stuff like that, it could make a big difference.
Well, we're back into the game, ladies and gentlemen. Looks like we have managed to sort out the tech issues and get this game back and underway. OpenAI bringing their members back down towards this bottom lane. Quite got the ultimates back online, 30 seconds for the Chain Frost. Just sending out some warning shots here onto Capitalist. Let's assassinate onto the Crystal Maiden. This is sort of, it's leaving the mid lane free, so Fogged on the Shaker is able to pick up some good levels and start to get a bit of that farm, and they can work towards those key crucial items on the Earthshaker, like the Blink Dagger.
But the pushing is coming, and this is where things get scary. Sniper's level 8, he's got a phase boot, so he's high damage, high nuke, and he's just gonna keep assassinating Crystal Maiden. But the salves are already prepped here. Seems gotta be careful.
It's gone! Cap's gone there with the Assassinates and the Flak Cannons.
He was not ready there. And that's all it took, a couple flak and a second assassinate. He was thinking he could heal through that, but he got bursted. Merlini's in trouble too.
He is, he's getting chased, he's getting dove. The Chain Frost being bounced between them perfectly as OpenAI take down both Merlini and Moon Meander. And they're onto the tier 1 tower, pushing in. Same time up top, looks like we have the DP chasing Blitz around. He's going to pop this out. He's got the DD. Maybe he could try and outplay the bot here. They've got the Fissure as well. With the DD, they're going to be able to do it then. Blitz and Fog. Catching out the Death Prophet, still the bottom tier 1 tower in trouble, will go down.
Well, they can push themselves. Blitz can go in the mid lane. SF is amazing at pushing as a solo hero. Spend a little mana.
And Cap, a little bit too far in the front lines as he instantly gets disabled by the Lion, burst down by the Assassinate of the Sniper.
Oh, Earthshaker being harassed on the mid lane by the Lich. A little bizarre here, but yeah, the DDs and Runes so far have absolutely been impactful. Blitz is going to shift to the top lane, grab a double set of bounties, so they'll go even there. Necro's keeping the creep wave top static, so they do get the tier 1 tower, but that looked more standard, like a typical pro engagement.
For sure.
Group, take the tower, and then go back to being efficient on the map. So it definitely, the strategy of this game definitely seems a little different than the previous.
I mean, I was going to say, in terms of the previous, we've got to compare the fact that 10 minutes in the first game we saw today, OpenAI were already taking barracks. So already we are seeing how well Team Human are able to sort of push OpenAI to the limits in this early stage of the game.
Yep. Now, I think the biggest thing that's hurting Team Human right now is the Razor. His laning stage was poor. Oh, initiation here. I think that was an Invis rune, actually.
Yeah. Easily able to close the gap there onto Fog.
Nicely done by Lion there, initiating for the kill. But
Top lane. I can see Moon get gone upon. Naomi missile stun. Another kill for OpenAI.
It's just really tough to play Necro against these heroes, against Gyro and Death Prophet. They have all this magic damage, so if you do use your Ghost Shroud, you're still going to take a bunch of damage. So he just can't survive here. They're going on CM again. All right, just harass. Just some simple harass. With a 100-second cooldown. Worth it, I guess. He's going to heal up a bit, slowing down the push, but
he's got to be careful, Cap. I mean, Cap does have backup. There's the Fissure out onto 2 on the side, though. Merlini getting focused by the Lion and the Sniper. Fogged, he's getting trapped in there. OpenAI trapping the Humans, taking down 3 of them. As they come in with the Ghost wraparound from the Death Prophet, there's no escape for them there.
I think Blitz is doing the right thing here, ditching his team. I mean, this is how he gains MMR. He plays these solo heroes.
And he's got that Shadow Amulet, you know, the classic.
He sees his allies getting initiated on those. That's not going to work, so he goes off and he farms, and then he gets the big item that's going to allow him to actually affect the game. Which, once he finishes the SB, he's going to start blowing heroes up. And remember, there's a lot of consumable items being purchased by these OpenAI bots. That means that when he does get his Shadow Blade online, they barely have anything. This line just finishes Brown Boots. He's going to get like 2-shot here. His reaction time should be good, but oh, this could be Blitz dying though. This would be so bad for their team. The dust.
They've got the dust.
That was outside of range.
But still, they've got the AoE to burst in. Blitz is gone for 30. Merlini trying to lead forward onto the Lion. Lion is out of mana. Cap getting right-clicked down here by the Lich. Same time, they'll go for the cooldown. They've managed to find Merlini. Fog desperately wanting this Sniper, but OpenAI, they juke him out. Turn around, he's ready to turn and punch back. As Fogged Willful can't get the Fissure out. OpenAI laughs in his face. As Sniper 1, 0, and 13 still yet to die this game.
Man, they're getting so close every moment, but they just couldn't quite pull it out there. Great jukes by the enemy team. I think the dust even missed on Blitz there. He maybe could have just rode that one out like somebody that gave up on the game, but at least until the enemies left. But it seems like every opportunity available, OpenAI is going to throw nukes on their opponents. So they can't even like show in the lane to slow. I don't even know if it's beneficial for them to be here to try to slow this down.
I mean, it's absolutely, as you say, we are never seeing OpenAI sort of sitting around with full mana. They're always spamming out anyone that comes in range. They know the value of just keeping the opponent slow at any sort of cost.
So they have nuked the creep wave here. This is basically what they need to do. A fissure. Oh, they're in trouble now though.
They're straight in with the burst. Merlini will put the 1 charges. It's not enough to keep him alive. The Flak Cannon finishes him off. Cap gets caught out from the stun as well. There's a double kill for OpenAI's Gyro. Allowing them to move in onto this tier 2 tower. They will put the fortification, another BM smoke. The Fissure does manage to do quite a bit of damage, but still, they haven't quite got that jump to get in and finish off OpenAI. As Jaro able to safely disengage, TP's back towards base. The rest of OpenAI claim the tier 2 tower, and already they're moving on to other lanes.
I mean, their confidence level basically can't go up at this point, so I don't think they're too upset with how this game is going. But it's a 5K advantage, 24-4 now. And they just feel... it just feels like there's a couple of heroes that are really hard to activate in this game. The Necro is kind of hard to activate because other people have to be low, and it's so hard for Merlini to get in this game on Razor. This is not a hero that catches up well. He can't push waves super easily and rapidly. He's got a long cooldown on his nuke. He's just kind of limited. He needs like a solo lane to grab free farm, to grab levels, to grab items, but normally he's supposed to snowball off of like controlling other heroes and limiting what they get, but he hasn't been able to do that this game. So he's basically playing support at this point. Kind of aimless movement by OpenAI. This is the first time I've seen them jungle actually on Sniper. It's not very common for them to sit back like this.
Yet to move on to their next target. Still tier 2s in both the mid lane and top lane for the taking. It's bottom lane Blitz trying to sort of chase down this Lich, but it's a level 11 Lich. Fog, let's try for the Fisher setup. Blitz still with a bit of time left on the Shadow Blade. Looks for the wraparound. They've got the burst. They've got the kill. There's a Lich, but you've got to remember, this is a Lich that was being prioritized by OpenAI. It has sort of, interestingly enough, fallen down to being the second lowest in the team, so sort of back to that support capacity, despite being given the solo lane at the start.
Yeah. Well, they're committing to pushing now. And now I think the humans are in a bit of a weird place. They know that they should defend, but their opponents are so good at pushing now that they can't even like split push in the meantime.
I mean, the humans know that the Gyro TP bottom, so maybe they can look to try and do something here. They try with the Fisher, but straight away turning with the Mask of Madness, and the Sniper going into Fog, doesn't quite finish him off, turns towards a bigger target. Looks towards Merlini, will find him. Cap tries to leap forward, Blitz has the Requiem. Can he finish the kill? He can! They get the Sniper, can Blitz get another? He does it, the Requiem, it does! Will get the kill. It costs them many lives, though, Team Human. They do lose 3, but they are able to take down 2 of OpenAI's cores.
With that said, that was a pretty good trade there for the humans. They get about a 500 gold advantage and about 700 extra experience. So, considering they're behind, I think that's all right. Because when they come back up, like the value of a Shadow Blade is just so much here against bots. I find it. I feel like a human is going to be able to abuse Shadow Blade much better than a bot would be machine learning at this point, I guess, is my assumption. My assumption is that they're so good at team fighting and pushing, but are they going to know how to abuse Shadow Blade pressure around the map? I feel like they're not going to be able to do that as well.
I'm going to see down bottom. OpenAI having both the Jaro and Lion stunning the front. They are going to have the rest of the team moving in. So again, OpenAI falling back to this full 5-man that they want to prioritize, pushing this bottom lane.
Every time he comes forward, they throw the missile, they throw the assassinate, and they get him low. I mean, this guy needs a tranquil boot so bad, but he just can't get it.
And now they're moving in. They get Cap. Cap will fall again. Can they do to stop this? Hex and stun coming out onto Fog. They're keeping him held at the sideline. Fog trying to back up with a finger. Oh, from maximum range there from the Lion. Will burst him down. They have managed to claim Sniper's Blitz. Came in from the side, was able to burst him, but they're moving in for more with the cooldown onto Moon. Moon, he gets stunned up, disabled. Necrophos is gone. Buybacks now to come out from Team Humans. They'll buy back on Moon Meander, and OpenAI immediately respecting that, backing up.
Yeah, I mean, they're all pretty low, and they're out of regen. They don't have any more in their inventory. Razor's approaching, he wants to take this fight, but he's so scared. He's doing what he can.
Oh, he gets silenced immediately.
No.
Can't get the Requiem off. Instant silence there from the Death Prophet.
The Sentry caught him. They caught him briefly, and that's why they reacted so fast. So that loses his Shadow Blade cooldown for this moment, but so far the strategy seems pretty similar. Come in, nuke your opponents, try to get them to go on one of your tanky guys, and then let your real damage dealers come in the back line. And try to clean up. And that's what Blitz did successfully in that last fight. He jumps and he kills the Sniper. That's the guy that does by far the most damage. That's the best tower damage. Exactly. Stops the push and gives him gold. So we'll see where they go from here. Capitalist still buying Observer Ward stuff. Merlini's still trying to get as tanky as possible. They've also got a Veil on Necrophos. This is a really nice pickup here. So amplify all the magic damage they deal, and they are pretty magic heavy. And we're very close to a blink on Earthshaker, actually. He's at 2,000. 100 gold.
Oh, we could see some big slam players indeed coming out from Fog because of the way that OpenAI play, as we've seen. How will they react to this? Because at the moment, a lot of the times, they are fairly grouped up, OpenAI. There is potential for big echo slams to come into play.
But in other matches, it does seem like they spread out okay. But the important thing is keeping them at this choke point. You don't want them to get past the opening. You can engage them outside to be a lot better. Look how spread out they are. Death Prophet all the way on the one side, seemingly by herself. But I mean, with Yule, she could defend herself. But she's a hard pickup. They see the ward now. I don't know if that's going to last. Creep wave is dead, so they're going to have to take the tower at least.
Fog tries to but instant Hex! He instantly gets Hex there by the line. He will get the Echo Slam out. They're 2 down on the Team Humans on the front. The Death Prophet standing strong as 4 dead. They'll look for the 5th. He'll try with the Reaper's Scythe Moon, but it's not enough damage. Triple kill for the Gyros. OpenAI wipe them with the quick Hex reactions there of Lion.
Yeah, the Hex absolutely did everything there. If that Echo Slam comes out earlier, we're talking about 2 minimum stuns from the Earthshaker. And then with that combo, they can follow up on that while those heroes are stunned. But delaying that for so long just meant that they lost the team fight instantly. Everybody's dead, Rax is gone. I like the opportunity. I like what he did. He fissured first. That's like one way to cover your Echo Slam. That was the safest way to initiate.
But that prepared the Lion.
Maybe, but it didn't catch the line with the stun. Because if you fissure first, you fissure no matter what. They can't see you. And as soon as you blink and you cast Echo, your typical person is never going to react that time. But that was a huge initiation. Great Hex.
Indeed, the first set of racks taken 20 minutes in. Not sort of unheard early, but it's still early. And now outside of the base, Melini receiving a bit of spam here from the Crypt Swarm Assassinate. Quickly forces him to have to back up back to the fountain. As OpenAI now move their proceeds towards the mid lane, take the tier 2 tower, and are getting ready to set themselves up for another siege attempt at Team Human's base.
Can they defend this time? They don't have Echo Slam, 60 seconds on that one. They've got no BKB on Blitz just yet. If he gets that, he can maybe take a fight at least. But there's a lot of big items on OpenAI 5 right now. SNY on the Gyro with his drums. They've got a lot of good things.
Ready to get the Fisher. Blitz trying to see if he can maybe set up for the Red Grim. They'll jump it again. Bolt instantly gets hexed by the Lion. Blitz now getting focused. The Assassinate bringing him low. There's the blast from the Lich to finish him off. 4 dead on Team Human as OpenAI open the base up for a second set of racks. And GG will be called 21 minutes into this benchmark. OpenAI